Good evening. Welcome back to Talking Reds. And James Pearce has dropped some bombs today in the social media spaces, in the space of journalism, and it's obviously not good news in terms of what I've seen today. And we're going to talk about a certain topic, and that is the excuses that this club makes constantly when it comes to signings. It's the same excuse over and over again. If you see the thumbnail, it is a rotationary cycle. It's constant. And what gets me the most is the fans that accept this cycle, that are being gaslighted, and they accept the gaslight and they fall for every single year. And I'm saying this whilst we're top, by the way. I'm not jumping on because we're playing bad, or you just say you're playing bad. I'm saying it now whilst we're top. So there's no. I'm consistent with my opinion on this. I'll say it whether we're sixth. I'll say it we're top. We need better ambition. And right now it looks good. And right now for these people that say, "Oh, but look at us, we're top at league. Why do we need an extra midfielder?" It's looking good right now. But he said the same last year. He said the same 2 years ago before we dropped off and that injury hit season. Despite not us getting a centre back, he said the exact same. We were top then. We were top last year, by the way. And Will Smith came along. Beep. Men in Black. Memory loss. And it happens over and over again. And I'm fucking tired of it. You know, I'm not just tired of it. I'm tired of these fans that don't see it and come for you because they can't see it. Obviously, the news today, I'm going to go for the news, what James Pearce has said. So he said it'd be surprising if Liverpool did anything in January. Slot believes he has depth. And one thing, I'm not saying this is not on Slot at all. Don't you dare throw Slot under the bus on this shit, because this has been happening for years. And also, grass form means that Liverpool no longer see a holding midfielder as a priority. Signing a holding midfielder.
Okay.
Arne.
Yeah.
Let me get one thing straight. Gravenberch has been unbelievable, and he's a guy that I wrote about when he was at Ajax. I wrote an article about him saying I want him at Liverpool. This guy's unbelievable. Proper the way he takes on half turn. Proper he plays on double pivot. He's proper advanced, like a forward midfielder. He does get into the box and he does get forward. Now I've been seeing him in holding midfield. What is Gravenberch? What kind of midfielder is Gravenberch?
Yeah. He can play the 6, but I feel like he's more of an 8 than a 6. If I'm really looking at the guy, he's more of an 8 than a 6. And if that's something that has gone back from his Ajax years when he was playing for Ajax, he was more of an 8 than a 6. Obviously, you can clearly see that he can play in a 6, but you can also see when he does drive with the ball, when he does progress with the ball, you can understand why he plays in the 8. You can see the special. You can see kind of come alive when he's doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see that, and I feel like also him playing in the position that he does play in right now, it kind of, I wouldn't say limits him, but it doesn't allow him to do what he's really really good
Best
at, which is taking the ball, taking the ball in a half turn, driving with it, and taking on players, 3-4 players, and then laying it off. That is something that you clearly see that he loves doing. And he obviously, there's spurts in games where he does do it, and you can clearly see that if we did get, let's say for example, we did get Zubimendi, I feel like he would have played in that double pivot. It would have been him and Zubimendi playing in a double pivot, and I feel like would have had a little bit more control than what we do now. Even though we have a lot of control now, I feel like we would have had more, because Zubimendi is the type of player that I feel like he's more of a natural 6 than Gravenberch, even though he can do that extra goal, take on players, but he's more of a guy that he will actually sit back and, marshal, more dictate the play, and don't always have to go forward, So, yeah, that's the type of player that he is personally. Obviously, he's doing a job for us. Very, very good job. No one can sit here and say that we've seen this is what we were going to see from him, or something that we thought that he had in his locker. He surprised everybody. So yeah, no, but he's doing a great job. But I still see him as an 8 rather than a 6.
The thing is, if you're a midfielder, right, you can play pretty much anywhere in midfield.
Yeah.
That's a certain, because a midfielder has got to have certain. I play midfield. It's got to have certain attributes. You've got to have physical strength. You've got to be physical on the ball. You've got to be smart on the ball. You've got to be possibly good on the outside. You've got a good vision. You've got a 360 vision. And so any midfielder can pretty much play anywhere across the midfield. You're talking Cam, talking DM, unless you have a proper Cam like a Coutinho, for example. But I'm not like a Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai could probably play 8 and 6. Gerrard could play anywhere.
Yeah.
But would you sacrifice Gerrard at 10, behind Torres to put him in 6 because of the lack of not getting a 6?
No.
Exactly. That's exactly my point.
No.
And no one here is saying Gravenberch is doing bad, because we're saying I've come on here and said Gravenberch has been our best player this season. In fact, I think Gravenberch, alongside Kai said, has been the best midfielder in the Premier League this season.
Yeah,
possibly best midfielder in the world at the moment in terms of form.
Mm.
And this is a guy that, again, I wrote about when he was at Ajax. So I want him to. It shows like my ball knowledge is actually all right. If I go back to Ajax and say, look, I spotted this guy back then. So I want him to succeed more than anyone. And so this is not us saying that. We're not putting government. What we're doing is we want exactly what we said about McAllister last season. I got the same shit last season with McAllister. He played a couple of good games against Bournemouth and Fulham. World-class games, by the way, in that position at that point. And everyone's like, we don't need a 6. We don't need a 6. Look at McAllister. Look at McAllister. Come May, every fucking single player, every single fan in his fan base wanted a 6. Everyone. Everyone. The same ones that said we don't need one because McAllister was playing good. Every single one of them. Summer comes around, and again, we don't get one. Gravenberch, can you do us a favour? Please change your game a little bit. Please cover the lack of shit we don't have behind us in terms of ambition. And he's done a fantastic job, just exactly like McAllister did. Fantastic job. And what we're doing there is we're covering holes through. Yeah, we can do this. We can cover other players, but at some point you're going to need a new boiler. At some point, it's all right. Yeah, switching some pipes around, switching a bit this, and get that boiler. I was working again for a little bit, but at some point you need to buy a new boiler.
Buy a boiler. Yep.
It's as simple as that, and we can't keep letting it happen, because what's going to happen is, this is what's going to piss me off even more. We're going to get to January, we drop off, we get like maybe a slight injury or something like that to someone, a bit of debt for something like that. We'll see what happens again. It happens again and again. And then these fans that come for you now, don't hear from them. You don't hear from them. They're gone. Casper the Ghost disappeared. Gone. They don't keep the same energy. Whilst I'm keeping the same energy whilst we're top now, and where we were 4, 4, 6, wherever, you keep the same energy.
Yeah.
How important is squad depth right now? Obviously, it says here in the report that James Pearce says Slot believes that his depth's good enough. And this is not on fucking Slot.
No, not at all. Not at all.
At all. I'm sick of them putting Slot under the bus as well, because they're asking Slot the same things in the press conferences as well. It shouldn't be Slot to answer them.
Yeah. I think if we're looking about squad depth, if you're looking at Man City and you're looking at Arsenal squad depth in terms of ours, I'll say ours is just a little bit better. Within that 1 or 2 positions, we have more squad depth than they.
Attack was absolutely fine.
Attack wise, midfield, I'll say we have a little bit more as well. Yeah. But when you really look at it out in context, in terms of the actual position of these midfielders where they play, we're lacking depth in the DM position. In the 10, we have Szoboszlai and we have Elliot. The 8, we got Mac and we have Jones in there.
Jones and Grav had said the 8s, yeah.
Yeah, no, but he plays 6, so we don't count.
Right now.
Yeah. So, but and then when you look at the 6, if Gravenberch gets, let's just, God forbid, please don't guys don't come for me. If he does get injured, don't come for me. I'm just saying.
I'm going for these fuckers that have been fucking protecting this shit.
Let's say that he does pick up a little knock, yeah, and he's out for 2 games or whatever, or 3 games, whatever, however long. You can clearly see that Slot does not trust Endo.
No.
He's had multiple.
Yeah,
he has multiple opportunities to really play him. Let's be honest. He had multiple opportunities to play this guy, to give Gravenberch a rest, and he's hardly used. I think the last game that he actually used him was, I think, what was it? I think when we were playing, was it Brighton? When we played Brighton, I think that's when Government didn't play. We played Brighton, and I think Endo
I
was
think
yeah,
McAllister came off.
It was Brighton. No, it was Brighton.
Yeah.
It was Brighton. Yeah, that is the only time he actually used him where Government did not play. In terms of he wasn't on the bench. The guy was not there at all. This guy was literally having lunch with
in the cup. Yeah.
Yeah, he was chilling with his missus. This guy was not there at all. So you can clearly see that he does not trust this guy at all.
No.
So for you to leave,
but he's happy with his depth. He's happy with his depth. James Pierce says that he's happy with his depth.
Yeah, but I don't feel like he is.
He's not. That's what I'm saying. So it's contradictory, isn't it?
Yeah, it's because I don't feel like he's. I feel like this. But you see, this is the problem where I feel like this is where I have a little bit of a negative to say about Arne Slot. I feel like he's the type of guy. If FSG came out and said to him, "We can't get your player. We can't do this. Can you work what we have?" I feel like he's the type of person to be like, "Okay, fine. I'll see what I can do."
That's one of the reasons why they got him. And some of that was one of the reports. We got Arne Slot because he's happy to work with what he's got. That was one of the reports that came out in the summer.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's one problem, and I feel like that's why we didn't go for. Obviously, apart from the playing style, that's another reason why we didn't go for Ruben Amorim, because he's not a type of player. This is not a type of guy that's if you tell him, "Oh, this is what we have to work with," he'll be like, "No, I'm sorry, I need this. You need to go out and get me this player, or get me something that I can work with. I can't use this type." I feel like he's the type of guy that will say it, and I feel like that's another reason why I can't remember who was speaking. There was a woman in Sky Sports was talking about that. That's the reason why Liverpool looked at his profile. The playing style was obviously different, but also he's not a type of person that's
his demands are a bit higher. Yeah,
he's demanding. So that's the only negative I can say about Arne Slot. I feel like if he actually went to Richard Hughes and he went to obviously to the sporting director and said, "Look, I need a player. I need a DM. I can't do this with Endo. If Graham gets injured, we're literally pissed. We're pissed. The season goes down the drain. Forget about the season." But I don't see him doing that. I can't see him doing that personally. Anyways, I can't see him doing that. And this whole waiting for the summer. Let's be honest. Last summer they said the exact same thing. Wait until the summer, and we're gonna bring in players. We brought a player that is still on loan, and we put 10 million on a player that's played one game and about 20 minutes in the Premier League. And now he's injured. Obviously, you can't blame him because obviously, like, you know, we knew the issue that we could have faced with him, or because of his whole injury record and in the past. So we can't get mad at that. But just to put in context, they have said there's been previous summers where they said Liverpool has a war chest. They have come out and said this Liverpool has a war chest. They are ready to spend. We go into the summer, we don't see nothing. Nothing happens. And that's why I feel like us as fans were frustrated, because you're telling us one thing, and then when it actually gets to that point for you to deliver what you have said to us, what you said to us that we have, you don't do it. The Caicedo situation, why did you wait till the last minute to try putting a bid? If we knew you have identified this is the guy that we want, this is the guy that Klopp needs, why didn't you put the work in that Chelsea did from the beginning?
Yeah, the months in advance, wasn't it?
Months in advance. Months in advance. Yeah? Because that way you're showing the player, look, we genuinely want you. Like, we'll put in this work, we'll put this bit. When it comes, we'll do it. You didn't do that. You didn't talk to him. No, you wait until you see Chelsea's ones kind of collapsing because they didn't want to pay. You went in there thinking, okay, we just gonna put our money there and he's gonna come to us. The guys were looking at like, what are you doing? I'm sorry, I already made my commitment to these guys. I'm waiting for them. And if they don't make a commitment, maybe I'll come to you, but I'm still waiting for them. I'm gonna stay firm because they said they're gonna come in, they're gonna pay for me, I'm gonna be their player. You can't get mad at the guy for choosing Chelsea. You can't. As much as we were annoyed at the fact they chose Chelsea, he gave us sleepless nights. You know, we're all like that summer was the worst summer ever because we were literally sitting in Twitter every single second. Oh my god, there's an update. Oh my god, what's going on? It was the worst thing ever because our club put us in that position. And it's just frustrating to really deal with each and every single summer. So if we don't go out and really spend money, bro, let me just say this. If we don't go out and spend money, it's gonna be a problem because we're gonna be in a position again where we have an opportunity to win the league again, just like we did with Klopp. We had opportunity to win the league again, and we just did not do what was needed to make sure we crossed that line. That's the bottom line. It's that simple.
And when they start blaming it on the Klopp, I've seen a lot of fans blame it on Klopp. It's Klopp's fault and that, this and that. Now the narrative is that Slot believes the depth's fine in every area. Look at the press conference when Klopp thought he was getting Caicedo. The guy was pissing himself with excitement. That he was happy as fuck that morning because he thought Caicedo was coming through the door. They even asked him, "Yeah, we're basically said we're getting Caicedo." He was so happy with that. He was like, "This is my guy. This is what I want. Him, McAllister, back together again is what I wanted." And we didn't get to the point where we didn't get Caicedo. And so when they're creating the narrative of it's on the manager, just go back to that press conference. I promise you will. It's not on the manager at all. And I'm bored of this narrative of being it on the manager. I'm bored of the journalists asking Arne Slot like he has any proper control of what's going on above.
Sorry, One second, mate.
So basically, I don't like this narrative.
I'm gonna leave and come back in. Give me 1 second. I'm leaving and come back in.
Yeah, I'll carry on. I'll carry on anyway. So I don't like this narrative that puts it on the manager rather than take away from the blame from the board and the ownership and the backing that they get. But fans fall for it. And one thing I don't like is fans saying fans have to behave this way. Fans have to enjoy the ride. Fans have to back the club no matter what they do. They can't criticize the club. Again, I got it on Twitter again today saying, one guy. It's only one guy, by the way, because everyone else pretty much agrees what I'm saying. But one guy is saying like, "Oh yeah, our fan base just all they do is complain." Why can't you complain? Sorry, so basically, I've been saying like today. A guy said to me, "Why is our fan base complaining? They always got some reason to complain. Like, why can't you complain? Don't tell me how to be a fan.
Yeah,
if I want to complain, just because you're gaslighting and forget what's happened in the past. We've been through this before. We've had it time and time again. You said to me the same. People said to me the same last week. Why you complaining last year when we didn't get a DM? Look at us. Why you complaining? We've got McAllister's best in the world, best DM in the world. And look what happened at the end of the season. We dropped off. McAllister went further forward, played even better, going further forward where he plays. Endo dropped off a cliff because of the age, and we warned about it. And he's not played that standard of football for ever in his entire career, so he's not going to keep up to that. We warned about this, but then we didn't see you at the end of the season saying, maybe in hindsight, I could have. But they'll say in hindsight, it's too late now. It's too late now. We're happy with third or whatever. And we're on here, right? Both me and Harry both said we've got a chance of winning this league. We can win this league this season. Arne Slot can win this league this season. We said the other day, didn't we? Right now, if we've got like 40-50% chance, a good signing is like a Zubimendi in January. That boosts you up to 89% chance. We said that signing will boost everyone else up as well.
100%.
But then when it comes to January, we don't buy anyone or whatever, and then it comes to May and we're back in third again. I'm not saying that's going to happen because I still think we can win the league. But if we get back to May and third, I want to see these fucking people, and I'll call them out.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, well, it's Arne Slot's first season. I'm happy with third. You're not getting the point. Look at what you're doing now. Then keep that energy. That's my point. Yeah, I'm happy with third at the end of the season, depending on context. But right now, we can win this league. Go give Arne Slot the tools to win this league.
Yeah, and
if you're gonna have a go, sorry, mate. If you're gonna have a go us for this, saying, we're not happy, I've got fucking Van Dijk for it. Because he said the same thing. He said we need help.
Yep. No, it's true. And I just want to ask you this question. Okay, let's say that we don't go on and win the league, yeah, and we finish third. We get to a Carabao final, and we get to the last 16 of the FA Cup, and we get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Would you be happy with that season, knowing that if we made a couple of signings in January and bolstered up the squad, it could have been where we could have won the league.
If I knew, see, no, this is the problem. This is the only leeway these people have is signings guaranteed to make it better or successful.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
So, but if I'm happy at the end of the season if we come third, or depending on context, how far behind we are, or win a Carabao Cup and that, because it's Slot's first season. However, if I think in my head it's down to not getting that player, and Gravenberch falls off a little bit, or you know what I'm saying, Gravenberch falls off a little bit, or McAllister falls off, and Gravenberch has to go forward, and we don't have that proper DM, or Robertson continues to drop us points at left back when we needed left back, then I'm not going to be happy. But I'm not going to be not happy at Slot. I'm not going to be not happy at the players. It's not their fault. They're doing all they can. Slot's doing all they can. I'm going to be happy at this ownership, and I'm also going to be happy at these fans that have allowed this shit to continue. So I'm making them accountable now.
Okay, fair enough.
It don't ride with me anymore.
And I don't know if you remember when we had the last stream, and I said the Arne Slot overperforming is going to put pressure on the board now. It's starting to happen. He's overperforming on the expectation that they thought this guy's going to have. They probably gave him a target. Said this season is your first season in the Premier League. We haven't given anybody. Just make sure we get into Champions League next season. Yeah, let's just say that for example, and make sure you have a good domestic run. That's it. Now the fact that this guy's overachieving, I'm looking at the table right now. He's 9 points ahead of Arsenal. Yeah, 5 points ahead of City. Only lost one game and drew one game and won 9. Yeah. Now we can see that City is not the same team. Arsenal, even though they gained all their players back, I don't know if they're going to be the same team because the way they've been playing is awful.
Mentality is a problem for them, I think.
Yeah, the mentality is not really there. Yeah. If this is not a moment for FSG or the board, the sporting directors, the teams that are in charge of recruitment and going out there and finding players for Arne Slot. If this is not a moment where you look at this is an opportunity for us to really put the stamp on this league in terms of let's really build a lead. Because you got to remember, we were 8 points or 7 points. I can't remember how many points we were ahead of City when Klopp was here. And they caught us. And they won the league that year by 1 point. Yeah?
Yeah.
The season that we won it, we didn't give this guy a chance to catch us. They slip up, we made sure we capitalize. They slip up, we capitalize. They slip up, we capitalize.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to feel like this is the exact same thing right now. While City is down, while Arsenal's not performing, you really got to go out there and say, we got to put our foot on
foot down.
Right
foot
now,
down. We got to make sure that we got to 4th, 5th gear. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Let's make sure by the time we hit January, we're literally sitting 10, 12, 10, 12 points ahead of these guys. So what that does as well, it makes Man City look, damn, 12 points. That means these guys got to lose and draw a lot of games, and we can't afford to drop another point from these guys.
Yeah. Do apologise if Army has gone there here, but he was making a very, very good point. Like, you got to you got to get it whilst the hand's hot. That's what it is. You got to get it whilst the hand's hot. You've got to can't rest on your laurels. That's the thing. That's what we're doing every single year. We're resting on those laurels, and it bites us in the ass. And then when instead of saying, "Oh, it's City cheating's fault," it's David Coote's fault. But we've got to look at ourselves as well sometimes, because sometimes we don't do enough to get over the line. And that could happen again. We are saying on here, both me and Armin are saying on here, we can win this title. We can, even if we don't sign a player, we can still win this title possibly, but our chances go up massively. Go on, Am, keep going.
Sorry about that, man. I'm just receiving a lot of phone calls, so it's messing me right now. But yeah, if we do that, that's just gonna put City down. It's gonna put Arsenal down because they're looking. Let's say we're 15 points ahead of Arsenal because obviously we have a bigger gap than City. They're looking at that. Damn, we can't catch Liverpool. The best thing we can do right now is fight for either second or third, just to make sure we're in the Champions League spot. Let's say we're 12 points ahead of City. They're looking at it. Damn, 12 points. The way they've been performing, and they brought new players in that's going to rejuvenate the whole team. And these are not just players that's just going to sit on the bench. They are players who are hungry. They're trying to get into the first team, so they're going to push this team even more. They're looking at it, damn, like if we drop one more game, if let's say we even draw, forget about losing, let's say they draw and we win, we've added another 2 points ahead of them. Now they're looking at it, damn, you don't understand that all of those things there literally has a massive impact on how teams perform and how teams react. If we go into January and City are 5 points behind us, they're looking like, oh, 5 points. Lovely. Let's go get these guys now. Because we know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
From January all the way to the end of the season, they're not dropping any points. They have done it many, many times. They've gone from January to the end of the season and they're just beating teams. You'll be lucky to get a draw from them. And if you do, you count that as a win. Because City is when it comes to the last stage of the season, they are on fire. They go to 16, 17 games beat winning streak. We've done it before, but that was with Klopp. We don't know if we're going to do that on a Slot. We've done it before, but that was with Klopp. But these guys get when it comes to the end of the season, they pick up form. They're on fire. So you can't allow them to get to that point knowing that they're only 5 points behind you. So that is always why I'm annoyed at the fact that we might not. Let's just say might, because we don't know. Things can change. You know what I mean? Things can change. But let's just say because we know what we know now, we might not go out and buy anyone in January. That is why I'm concerned. I'm not asking the board or the club to spend. I'm not asking to spend the amount of money that Chelsea's spending. I am not. I'm literally not. All I'm asking is just make sure that this man has the tools that he needs to make sure that we go win this league. That's all I'm asking for. If it's a guy that costs 30 million and he has the potential to really grow, go out and get him. If he costs 20 million, go out and get him. I don't care how much they cost. I just want players there that is going to help this team progress and go forward. That is it. And then what that does is what it takes the pressure away in the summer. You don't have to go out and get 3-4 players now. You can only focus on the actual things that you need now. Let's say it's a left back. We can go out and get a left back. Let's say it's a striker. We can now focus. Okay, we've dealt with the midfield situation. We've dealt with the right wing situation with Salah. Now it's just Darwin Núñez. We can sell him. We can get like let's say 50 million, 60 million for him, and we can bring in this guy. And now we're looking at left back. Okay, Andrew Robertson. We can sell Simicast for about 25 million, 20 million. And then we can add on top of him. We can get this left back that we want. Job done. You don't have to worry about nothing else. The squad is good.
Plus, if any of these three leave as well, they'll be looking to replace them as well. That's another headache to have.
You know, from what I've seen so far with the contract, I think it's more positive news. I was even watching David Lynch? I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
He was saying that obviously all of these reports coming out of Madrid take it with a massive piece of salt because that is not what's coming out. Trent's camp, that's not coming out. That's not what's coming out of Liverpool's camp. Liverpool's not saying that this guy, because if that was the case that Trent wanted to leave, Liverpool not be having this conversation with him. Liverpool will be out there looking for a right back. We have not seen any reports saying that Liverpool are looking at this right back. We've seen reports that Liverpool's looking at a left back, looking at a right midfielder. Liverpool might be looking at a striker. We've seen these reports come up, but no one has come out and said Liverpool are looking at this, and other right back. So you can I'm kind of looking at it as like the talks are going well. I feel like it's just certain things they're not agreeing on. That is literally it. Trent is
going down to the wire. That's really going down to the wire.
Yeah, Trent is probably the wages. Salah left for contract. Van Dijk, I just feel like he's probably just looking at it like, look, I just want a good length and a good amount of wages for for what, you know what I mean? So I'm not really concerned about the contracts right now. So I can put that to the back burner. But
we'll come back in January. We'll come back in January.
We'll come back in January. We'll find out what happens. But
we'll do
that's pretty much what I have to say about the situation. There's not really much more I can really add. And if you, as a fan, Liverpool fan, feel like you have a problem with what I just said, then I'm sorry, I don't know what else I can do for you, because I'm not here asking for the board to spend $1 billion. I'm not. I'm not even asking them to spend 200 million. I am not asking them that. All I'm asking is, please, if you have identified this is the player that you need, just go out and get him. Pay the money, bring him in, because all that does, it lifts up the whole squad, brings more competition, and what that does, improves performances. Training is more competitive because players are playing at the top level, because they know if I don't perform, I've got someone sitting on the bench that's going to do it.
It doesn't allow for complacency, does it? It doesn't allow for complacency. That's what it is.
No, it doesn't.
Right now, it'd be complacency.
Yeah, it doesn't. You know, Gravenberch is always sitting there like, I don't care if I don't play well. Let's say I don't play well this game. I know I'm going to start next game because I'm looking at Endo. Yep. Like, Endo's not going to start. You know what I mean? Yep. But if he has someone there, like a Zubamendi or a Varela or whatever, he's not going to sit there thinking, damn, if I don't perform this well, I'm going to start over him. No, because he knows he doesn't perform, that guy is going to perform and he's going to take his place. You know, that's all I'm trying to say. So if you have a problem with that, then I don't know what else to say to you. So yeah, that's pretty much it, mate.
Yeah, and what I don't like is people coming out with crap bullshit. Like the same guy that comes to me every single summer don't come for me at the end of summer, by the way. He only comes at me when I'm saying, like, we need this player, or we need a couple of more additions. He said to me, like, if you're watching back at Ajax, it was a DM. Fuck off. You're talking shit. You're talking absolute shit. Go watch him DM. Go look at the people, all the tacticians I've written about this guy, Ryan Gravenberch. Go back and have a look at them. He's not a DM. I watched him myself. I did that. Like I said, I did an article on him. I wanted him at Liverpool when he's at Ajax. So yeah, don't come with shit. Don't tell fans how to behave. Don't tell fans how to be a fan. If people want to criticize the club, no matter what, you know, let them criticize. Just because you criticize the club, you don't mean you're less of a fan. So this is, please just listen to other people as well. And if you've got that energy now, keep that energy. No matter what happens at any point, keep that energy. And right now, Arne is coming in and out right now, like John Henry comes in and out for the phone calls. He's turning off the phone call, turning it off every 2 seconds.
Honestly, is it? Sorry, it seems that everybody wants my attention all of a sudden. I don't know why.
All good. It's all good. Yeah. Your phone's going off like John Henry in the summer, but always turned off. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. If you do like this thing, we're open to any other conversations. But I'll have conversation with anyone, whether you love FSG, whether you back what their lack of ambition they're doing. If you love standing still, I'll have a conversation with you, another conversation about you. But
no, you know, also
keep the energy.
What I want to ask these fans is, let's say that we don't win the league and we don't do nothing in the summer. What is your excuse for the fan or for the ownership then? What is your what's your excuse?
We should win the league.
I genuinely want to hear what your answers, your logic behind why you're so constantly coming at us for asking the club to just go out and just add a few pieces that are missing. That's what I genuinely want to know. So yeah,
you're never going to get a proper answer on that. It'd just be, well, enjoy the ride. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the show as much as we're enjoying the ride. We are top of the league, and we are really happy being top of the league as well.
Yep.
But we just don't want us resting on our laurels. That's the only thing. We don't want to rest on our laurels. We don't want to stand still and hit while the irons are. That's what we want to do, and go win this league, because we can win this league under Arne Slot. Thank you everyone for joining. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, get your notification bells on, because we're live and we do record stuff like this as well. More videos out tomorrow as well. Thank you everyone for joining.